Hello lovely people, thanks for clicking on today's video. We're going to be talking about a content creator who I think is worse than Eugenia Cooney. And I know that might be a crazy stretch to say, especially considering the things that Eugenia has been known for, her controversies over the year, and her impact on people on social media, particularly young, vulnerable people. But the person that we're going to be covering today is a Russian vlogger who seems to be going down or attempting to go down the same path as Eugenia. And the reason I think this is important is because currently Eugenia is tied up in an alleged lawsuit that involves TikTok and other social media platforms and how they promoted her content and the impact that it has on younger people. And it seems like Eugenia has trickled into this girl's life, or this woman's life, and now it's almost like an infection. It's spreading because this woman is, in my opinion, trying to be the next Eugenia, and I have proof for that. I'm not just saying this out of nowhere just because of her appearance, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Before we do get into that, I do want to put a disclaimer on this video because there are some things that are unsavory, and this vlogger, she does some things like body checking, and there's some weird behaviors around foods. Also, there is some comparisons of physical appearance, which I think might be harmful to some viewers. So if you are sensitive to things like that, I just want to let you guys know that that's what we're going to be discussing. Perhaps maybe check out some of my other videos if you want to sit this one out. Without further ado, let's jump right in. I do want to preface this by saying that this content creator, I believe, is from Russia, so I can't understand the language. I've tried doing translations with captions and it's just not working out. Also, another thing is I'm not putting her name in this video because I don't want people to flock to her page. I don't think we should be giving people like this attention. I just think it's relevant for what's happening with Eugenia currently. I think it's really important because specifically right up here, she says Eugenia Cooney try on haul. So I think she's trying to use Eugenia's name to gain some type of notoriety, and it seems to have worked because this YouTube short has over 300,000 views and about 600 comments I think that trying to replicate Eugenia's content is extremely harmful. So that's essentially just the video. She has on an outfit, she's dancing on the street, and if I had seen this just in the wild, you know, just scrolling through, which is, you know, how I found this video, I wouldn't have had an issue with it. You know, people are allowed to live their lives. Oh, also another thing, I don't want to talk about physical appearance too much because I think that is harmful. But if I had just seen this, I wouldn't have made too many assumptions, just would have kept it moving. However, it's the fact that she is, in a way, relating herself to Eugenia. That's what I find problematic. The descriptions of her videos are also interesting because they constantly talk about, you know, try on haul, accessory tour. This right down here says, style tips by Eugenia, how to layer pastel and gothic pieces. So she is referring to Eugenia quite frequently. You don't see her talking about the clothing. You don't see her saying where she got it from. It's just music playing in the background and her dancing. Now, you know, her trying to tie herself into Eugenia's content I thought was pretty bad, but it gets worse, and I have a bunch of links open at the top. We're going to go through one by one, and I put them in order from least problematic to most problematic. So we're starting out and it's already pretty bad. But the next one we get into, it gets even worse. I can't read this caption because I can only speak English and like Duolingo levels of Spanish. So I don't know what this caption says, but here's yet another warning. She is going to be doing some body checking. In my opinion, I believe this is body checking. Ugh. So that's pretty much the clip. You know, I might have to blur this out and censor it, but she lifts up her shirt and she's showing her body to the camera. Leave me your opinions. Is it worse to kind of do it covertly and like, oh, like you're showing off an outfit and you're showing a certain part of your body and try and be kind of slick and sly with it on the down low? Or do you think it's worse to just blatantly flash and then like you're marketing yourself a bit more openly? I think they're both pretty bad, but yeah, give me your thoughts. Okay, this is another video where, in my opinion, I think that she is body checking. And for those of you who might not be aware of why body checking can be harmful, essentially the reason why body checking can be problematic for an individual is because it kind of warps your sense of control over your physical appearance. It can be very damaging to your mental health. And so when we have someone that is not only, in my opinion, body checking, but posting it for other people online, it can cause other people to compare themselves to that person. It could send them into a downward spiral. This content isn't restricted. It's not like it's 18 plus. The comments are turned on. Anyone that has access to the internet could see this content and be negatively impacted by it. But let's just play the video.
Это дерьмо того стоило. И знаешь, что я тебе скажу? Это 10 из 10. И это жизнь.
Again, I can't translate this, so I don't know what the voiceover is for this, but the title of it says, Hot Girl Summer Finds, Fashion, Beauty, and Lifestyle Must-Haves. That's another thing that reminds me of Eugenia is all of her titles are very positive, almost to the point of like toxic positivity. And I think she knows why people are watching this content. Not a lot of people are watching, but enough people are watching for it to make an impact. And yet again, none of this has to do with a try-on haul or fashion. It's just her propped up on a chair and then falling into the chair. It seems like she might be using ChatGPT to post these because it seems like a little template where it says Instagram. You would insert, your Insta, your TikTok, and your names down there, and she didn't even do that. But yeah, that's the quality of content that we're seeing on this channel. Body checking, comparisons to Eugenia Cooney, and toxic positivity. But of course, we're gonna keep going and it's gonna progressively get worse. So we're gonna get into the weird dynamics with food in this video. Let me just play it for you guys. Okay, so yeah, that's the video. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a comedy sketch or if it's supposed to be funny. For some reason, she put this video on her page. I think it is to essentially draw attention to someone that is potentially suffering from a condition to dump and waste food. It's for someone that suffers with this condition, I think it might be empowering to them. And I know that sounds sickening to say, how is wasting food empowering? But people with this condition, it makes them feel like they are in control. It makes them feel like they have power over food. So yeah, that's just another instance of this channel just being very weird and very problematic, in my opinion. Okay, so this is a video which in itself, it's not harmful. I don't think this is harmful. It's just, I believe these two girls might be friends, or maybe they just collaborate with each other for social media. I'm gonna play it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so I think this right here might be another form of body checking. I seriously think that she is using her friend as a comparison to body check. And that's why I'm like, maybe they aren't actual friends. Maybe this is all for social media. It's all for views. However, I feel like they're both kind of using each other, and we're going to get into, they make many more videos together, and it gets more problematic once we go further. What I initially thought was, two girls making a video, lip syncing. It becomes a lot more sick and twisted when we get into these next parts. So let's continue. So for the purposes of, I suppose, protecting others' mental health, I'm going to be blurring out what's right here because it has measurements. And that is something in certain spaces that can be extremely toxic, extremely damaging. I think it's important to acknowledge and include and tell you guys that there are measurements. There is a difference between these measurements. And I think they are using this comparison as almost like some type of weird reverse thinspo. That's what I think it is. So that's why I say I don't think that they're actually friends. Let's just play the video. So there's not really much. They're just kind of, I guess, maybe having a conversation. I find it bizarre that either one of them would agree to this. I think the blonde girl would agree to do this video because she is trying to push this really twisted content. Maybe the girl with the blue hair is agreeing to it because she wants to potentially get clout, but this is not a healthy friendship. I think emotionally and mentally, this is not a healthy relationship dynamic to have with somebody where you're essentially using their contrast to boost yourself on social media. And this is another section where I'm going to have to blur it at the top because I don't feel comfortable showing these people's measurements. I think it's incredibly damaging, but this is just another example of them comparing themselves. And I don't know if they're looking at a camera or looking in a mirror, but it's very bizarre to me that they would agree to be in a video like this. In this video, she's just kind of like flaunting her money, you know, saying this is a hustle, she has her money, and listen, I get you, get your bag up, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I don't think that social media is worth your health and your reputation, because if she's trying to grow her platform and get subscribers like Eugenia, I don't think this is the way to go about it. I think Eugenia initially got her audience from kind of like the emo scene kid communities back in the day with her makeup. She, you know, had a lot of alternative styles and makeup tutorials. The main focus wasn't necessarily on her appearance, but as her fans became more connected with her, it kind of all has crumbled over the years. And I think people that know Eugenia aren't gonna fall for that again. So I think her trying to grow her social media in this way is pretty toxic. And you might say, well, maybe she is just a fan of Eugenia. Maybe her content isn't directly about her appearance and her condition, but I think it kind of goes into a bit of fetish content, which we're gonna cover next. There's another thing that she does quite frequently in her content, which is mukbangs. If we remember the Love Eugenia Cooney videos, there would be a lot of clips of Eugenia eating food. And this is something that I don't understand and I can't wrap my head around, but I think that there might be some people out there that find it gratifying to see someone like Eugenia or like this vlogger and get gratification out of it. And I think she plays into it. I think she's aware of that, because I just want you guys to listen to this clip and hear the way that she eats this food.
А самое главное, чтобы не было очереди. Потому что это опасно может быть. М. М. А то если будет очередь, то что делать? М. Ай, кайфую.
Okay, so the noises that she's making while she's eating this food, it's uncomfy. It makes me feel disturbed. Listen, I enjoy a good ass meal as much as the next person, but with all of the other context that we have seen, I think that this is on purpose. That's just my opinion. I think that she is eating this food and making specific vocal sounds so that a certain subsect of people that find her content are gonna stick around because they find it gratifying. I don't know what type of people do that, but I'm sure there's some out there, and I think she's pandering to them. I'm just including this clip because I watched it and I don't really understand it. Maybe you guys could give me some feedback of what you think is going on here. I think, in my opinion, it might be kind of how some people get gratification out of other people being frail or potentially ill and helpless, but I'll play the clip and I'll let you guys come to a conclusion. Now, I don't want to misspeak here and just be cruel and say, stop doing this for clout and attention. Who knows, maybe she does have something to where, you know, it's difficult for her to hold a spoon in a bowl and eat some food, and I don't want to discredit that, but the pattern we've seen so far is that she is marketing herself in a certain way. So I believe that this is intentional, and I believe it's to cater to people that enjoy watching people suffer. Let's just put it out there. Let's just call it what it is. I think that there's some people that enjoy watching people suffer. But again, I can't read the Russian caption at the top, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. And again, in her description, it doesn't really address anything. It just talks about fashion. Fashion, fashion, fashion. Trendy outfits, dressing up. Yeah, I don't understand why her content is a thing, but it is. Now we're gonna move on to the clip that I found the worst. It was the most disturbing clip. I'm gonna do my best to censor out the other people, or should I say the children in the environment, and we're gonna talk about it. So I'm sure you guys got the full context. I'm gonna try my best to blur the faces of the children out of this video. So if you guys see like little squiggly boxes moving around, that's because I'm learning how to edit and censor stuff. But seriously, let's just take a second and think about this woman at a playground. I don't know if these children are related to her, or maybe they're friends of the family, or whatever. Something about this really does it irks me, it bothers me. It kind of does make me sad in a sense, because I see children who are young, impressionable, they get influenced easily, and they might see this person who is portraying themselves as a positive lifestyle vlogger, and they might be influenced by that in the future to want to maybe reenact the things that she does, and I just find it disturbing. So I don't know what her motive is. I don't know her long-term goals. I don't think that this is a sustainable marketing tactic or social media growth tactic. And I don't think it's sustainable for life. I truly don't. I find it really disappointing that this content isn't age restricted. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about this for a little bit and kind of get your guys' opinions on this. Like I said, some of those clips, I'm not sure, is this a fetish? Is this on purpose? From what I've seen, I truly believe so. But yeah, that just about covers it. I think that this woman is intentionally being problematic in certain ways, trying to be the next Eugenia Cooney, who is problematic in herself. Again, I'm not gonna put her name in the title or the description, not just because I have a hard time pronouncing her name, but also because I don't want people to flock to her channel and try and comment different things and give her attention, because the more you engage with a person, the more relevant they become, and I don't think that she should be relevant. Now, I'm not saying that she can't be a fashion vlogger and she can't post makeup tutorials or food reviews and things like that. I just think that when you are intentionally trying to be problematic, I don't think you deserve a platform. And this isn't just like a little bit of haha, hee hee, you know, like the condition that I believe she has, that destroys lives. It destroys families. There are many people that get sucked into it that they can't get out, and they never make it out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap that up today. Just please, if you do comment, please keep the comments respectful, because I don't know too much about this woman. I don't know all the struggles she's going through. I just disagree with what she's posting online. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, respectfully. Until next time, I'm just gonna cut it here. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and as always, stay lovely.